Welcome back. Although Nigeria's oil sector is grappling with a series of significant challenges, prompting extensive discussions and actions at both national and international levels, the Nigerian federal government hopes to get a significant revenue boost in 2024, aiming for a staggering 214% increase now in petroleum profit tax collections. Now, this ambitious target is outlined in data from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, which indicates plans to rake in 9.96 trillion naira from the petroleum profit tax. Now, the proposed 214% target comes on the back of the 3.17 trillion naira generated in 2023 and represents an 89% hike over the initial projection of 5.26 trillion for the same year. The Petroleum Industry Act 2021 introduced significant fiscal reforms in response to the challenges posed by falling oil prices on the profitability of oil and gas operators. This adjustment sets the maximum income tax rate for oil and gas companies at 60%, a marked decrease from the previous 85% under the Petroleum Profit Tax Act. And while the new tax framework specifically excludes both associated and non-associated natural gas, as well as exploration in frontier acreages. For 2024, the federal government has cautiously set an oil price benchmark of $77 per barrel and a production estimate of 1.78 million barrels per day. Yet, this target may be ambitious considering the production cuts enforced by OPEC and its allies. Let's discuss this further. I'm now being joined on the program by oil and gas expert DEJI360. Mr. Iyere, thank you very much for joining us on the program. You look at this target. I mean, the government targeting over 9. We're looking at over 9 trillion now from the oil and gas sector in 2024. But then you look at our current production levels, even though in the budget there you have something around 1.78. We're not doing close to that at the moment. So the question is, do you see this target being achieved?
Yeah, first, thank you very much for having me on your program. Yes, looking at the proposed increase of 214%, well, it's good to be optimistic. That's a really tall order for me when I look at what is going on right now. Yes, the production is about projected at 1.78 million barrels per day, and using the benchmark of $77. But looking at what's going on in the industry, I see that as a very high target that might not be easily achieved. If, well, the budget of 2023, the proposed amount would only achieve 60%, I don't see the reason why it should be increased by 214%. That is really a tall order, going on what is happening in the country. And if the government willing to provide the necessary infrastructure that will enable the oil companies to produce and rake in the money that will give them that kind of petroleum profit tax, is a very tall order. You know the situation going on in the country right now. The insecurity is one of it, and the youth restiveness is there, and the what is going on in the oil producing areas where you produce maybe 20,000 barrels per day from a flow station. By the time it gets to the tank farm, you are not getting more than 50% of that oil. Government need to address this if they will go close to that 214%.
Could there be something? Could there be something that the government is seeing that probably industry experts like you are not seeing? I mean, because I mean, when you look at just as you said last year, they were only able to meet around, say, 60% of the target, which of course low. And this year they've decided to increase the target by 214%. And I'm just wondering, could there be something they're seeing that, people like you are not seeing?
Well, even if they are seeing something that we're not seeing, they need to make it public. They need to make it public, make it known to the oil companies that will make them. We are not talking about increasing production level right now. We have not seen the sign that they are willing to attack the insecurity issue in the country, youth restiveness and all that will make people increase production. They make oil companies increase production and be able to get more money. Let them bring it up. Then we look at it. How do you want to address insecurity? How do you want to address the bunkering that is going on? That we even they targeted 1.78 million barrels per day. Are we going to be able to achieve that? Let them show us the program, their plan. They've not shown us. If they show us, then we'll know whether they will be able to make it or not.
Let's talk about these problems in the oil and gas industry, especially with the issue of security and what the government has done so far. How would you assess government's effort? Because we know the government says it has done a lot, and we've actually seen that the government has been working to stamp out oil theft, for instance, in the Delta region. It's taking quite a number of initiatives. Not quite long ago, it came up with the idea of giving pipeline contracts now to private security organizations. We also, as we speak, we have some private security organizations that are also combating oil theft, that were engaged to combat oil theft. So you look at all of these efforts. What would be your assessment?
Yeah, let me start with the issue of insecurity. I don't think they have a good handle at it. They have a good handle at it right now, because if you check for the past 8 months, the record shows that I think about 20-something thousand people killed and kidnapped. The kidnapping is increasing every day. Government have not gotten a handle around kidnapping. Until they get a handle around the kidnapping, they will not say they are able to handle insecurity issue. There's a lot of insecurity going on. It is spreading more than before, and people are being kidnapped every day more than before. It's worse now. Then looking at the bunkering issue, yes, government in the past have given some contract to some security companies, and they are doing well. But the more they do, the more they test, the more the people devise other strategy to handle bunkering. And bunkering is very lucrative for those of them that are involved in it. And there is a high security network of individuals that are involved in bunkering, not just these people that we say we catch every day and destroy their vessel. Until they destroy the mafia, is going to be a very big challenge. Yes, it's not something you wake up today and do today. There need to be a proper analysis, diagnosis of the problem, and come up with a mitigation plan. They know the solution, they know how to deploy, but it's not a one-day affair.
Now you look at the Petroleum Industry Act. I mean, so some of the changes we saw, some of the new initiatives now, especially when it comes to revenue sharing and the percentages that go to the communities and all of that. Don't you expect that that should probably, to a large extent, check this issue of oil theft? I mean, since the communities now will be getting more than what they used to get.
Yeah, the community, if some paper they get that money, where does the money get to? That is the issue. There's one other company, I don't want that name in here, that put up a good program, a good initiative that is called GMOU. And that is where they set up a committee with the company, non-profit company, organizations, with the communities. When they get this money, they put it in a common purse where they apply it to the development of the communities, and they monitor it. That is where you see something happening. Giving the communities money, where does that money go to? Does it get to the youth? Does it get to the jobless people? Does it get to the people whose occupation of shipping is being disturbed, fishing is being disturbed, they are not able to fish, the water is disturbed every time, and they go there. So they need to, the money, yes, is good. And let me say one thing. The PIA, the Petroleum Industry Act, is a very good one. Thank God they were able to bring it to this level. But as we begin to implement, then let's look at the pitfalls and address them. Giving community money is not the solution.
What do you think is the most effective way now to end oil theft in the Niger Delta region?
Yeah, well, one of them is provide jobs for the youths. Is part of it, provide jobs for them. Then the second one is empowering the community, not just giving them money. I give you an example of what a company is using called Global Memorandum of Understanding. They reach and understand with the community. So the money that gets to them is applied to the development of the community. Develop those communities. Let them see the effect. What effect of the money that are getting from the, let them experience it. Let them get roads. Let them get affordable water. Let them get some pump industries. Besides some industries there that will get them engaged rather than going to do bunkering. And that's for the community. That the government need to destroy the oil mafia, the bunkering mafia. It's not just only those community people, but the people at the higher level of authority.
Just before I let you go, from where you sit, sir, what do you think are our chances of meeting our production target? At least say possibly get to 1.5 million or 1.6 million barrels per day this year?
I don't see that easily achievable because of the mitigating factors or the risk. We've talked about this bunkering, we talk about insecurity, we talk about youth receiving. They are always agitating for more. But again, one of the problems now is the company, the IOCs, the international oil companies. Some of them are exiting from the onshore business. Shell has sold their own, Mobil has sold their own. I think if you check them, maybe only Chevron and one other company remaining to sell their onshore. So by the time you sell this onshore, and some of these companies, accountability is a very big challenge, because most of them, they produce this oil. Whatever they report to you, they produce is what you take. And right now, if you check the oil that is produced at each wellhead or each platform, if you calculate the oil that they produce there, might be up to 2 million barrels per day. But what gets into the tank that is measured is about 60% of it. So that's why I don't see it as easily achievable. I don't know how they're going to achieve that 214% increase. It's a tall order.
Look, I understand the talk about this IOCs now leaving, selling off their onshore facilities and moving to deep offshore. But then they're selling to local or indigenous companies, if you like. Are we saying these indigenous companies would not be able to run these onshore businesses effectively, probably better than some of these IOCs have run them?
We're not saying they can't run them. Some of them are good. Some of them are running it well. But some, you know what it is in Nigeria, some just want to get a name. They have that company, they have this club, and they have that. Are they going to be able to produce? And like I said before, issue of accountability, production. Some of them will not give you the figure of their production. And you know, this kind of thing that people do, cutting corners, are not able to declare the actual asset or the actual production level. It's a big challenge.
Well, I think that would be up to the regulatory authorities to ensure that doesn't happen. But thank you very much, sir. Sir David DEJI360, for coming on the program and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.